Why is this place so noisy? I like the quiet, away from the hustle and bustle of the city, away from the traffic and equally unpleasant music, away from the complications of life. I don't like loud bars or sporting events. Combine them both and I feel like Alex from A Clockwork Orange in the Re-Education Center. Needless to say, I don't eat at Buffalo Wild Wings often. For the better part of my post-high school life, I was surrounded by steel, with linoleum floors that pat softly as hundreds shuffle above it, the ever-present authority figures that keep everyone in check. Passageways are narrow. In overtaking someone, or if someone is coming in the opposite direction, both parties turn slightly to allow for passage. It's not like in the movies. Wires, conduit, insulation, they're all exposed. The smell of oil and JP5 that punched you in the nose when you first got there vanishes after a couple of weeks. Is it because they finally patched that leak? Or have you just become so accustomed to it that your brain filters out these olfactory offenses? Is this what prison feels like? The showers, of which there are usually 8 or so to a room, provide your only real privacy. Though even this is hardly what most would consider privacy, with only a thin, holdy shower curtain liner connected by a few dwindling rings that become scarcer and scarcer as time goes by. There was always that one whose curtain would be in tatters, rendering it effectively useless except by the exhibitionists. Bunks are stacked 3 high, one on top of the other. If you got a top bunk, you had the luxury of being able to sit up, but the top is exposed and all light shines through. Having a middle or bottom bunk gives you a little bit more isolation than the top, but again, the only thing separating you from the people blasting music on their iPods and having a conversation at 140 decibels is a thin canvas curtain. With no room to sit up, you're limited to sleeping or reading within. God have mercy on your soul if you're over 6 feet tall or overweight. There are hinges on the far side of the bunks, which allow them to swing open and act like kind of a horizontal locker. About 6 inches deep, and as long as the bunk is, this is your personal space. This is where you keep your uniform issuance, required books, duffel bag, gas mask, winter coat, and all your personal items if there's room. It's the closest thing you have to a life outside. You might have a laptop, some cards, some civvies. Pictures of loved ones is a given. Can I really survive 4 years of this? Food is always the butt of everyone's joke. Shit on a shingle as it's appropriately called. Sometimes the meatloaf or chicken pot pie casserole will get the better of an ungalvanized stomach. Newcomers are often found in the head, clutching their ankles after such meals. Vending machines can be a welcome relief from galley food, but only if you have a store card loaded with money, since that's the only currency they accept. Internet access and phone calls are often restricted to certain times of the day and work with the consistency of a politician in an election cycle. When they do work, the phones break up and the internet crawls like it's 1999. Most people use the internet for Facebook, while the phones are almost exclusively calls to loved ones. Sometimes the only thing you want to do is talk to your family when you feel 1,000,000 miles from home. What did I do to get myself into this? The worst thing is that it's loud here. Gas turbine engines, the sound of aircraft taking off, the pneumatic launcher slamming with the force of Thor's hammer at all hours of day and night. The closest to quiet you get is berthing, and I think everyone has an idea of the sound-blocking characteristics of canvas curtains. Communal TVs, loud conversations, the whirring of pumps. Younger people who you can't tell if they're play wrestling or real fighting. That one guy that just doesn't give a fuck. Of everything I disliked about this place, noise was the biggest offender. I just can't function critically with it. Every now and then it's alright. I don't have to work at 100% all the time. But when your whole world is inescapable noise and you need the quiet, you just start to feel numb. I've been out for 5 years now. Did I learn my lesson? Yes. Will I ever do it again? Absolutely not. I've got a nice little apartment on the south side of town, away from the hustle and bustle of the city, away from the traffic and equally unpleasant music, away from the complications of life. Though I got to see parts of the world some people only dream of, though I was paid well, Though I can say I proudly served, I'll never again be a sailor. I will never again be a member of the United States Navy. I like the quiet too much.